I mean, it's Kellen as well. This is a really powerful lane. Of course, the Braum will still have some utility for blocking some of what she wants to do, but I do almost everyone, which is very, very silly. Here you've got Viper and Delight just pushing up into Sobro. We'll see whether it is going to be a plate going on over, as Peanut is trying to set up for a dive here, and he just walks on in, puts down the ground, and there is the concussive blows. They'll just get the flash out from Sobro and go about their business, and maybe just look for a redive as he does dodge out of the way as Viper picks up the turret aggro. Sobro outplays him, and that's going to be first blood going over to BNK.
I don't think BNK can secure this without a, just straight up 4v4 fight here potentially, and because Zeka's also coming back.
Oh dear.
Daystar.
Yeah, Daystar does not have his R button available, as the culling is going to come on through, and there is the pillar. There is nowhere for him to go. I really think it's smart though. Valdez's boy Daystar not using his flash in that instance. He was very, very dead. The mistake had happened prior.
Yeah.
Let's not make it worse.
Yeah, no, certainly the right call there. But they're still going to give out this dragon, in which we had like the weird teleport from Zeka, which cost
Something
him
about it, or just lose.
And in the moments leading up to this Herald contest, Delight's going to have to face check.
Well, does he have to? He definitely does face check, and in fact, he just puts up the door and he's fine. Man, that's some extra points into the door, I reckon, as the train has left the station. Kellen is going to leave the Rift. Has no bailout for him. It's a double kill of the bottom lane for the Scion in an instant. As the public execution onto Viper, he could be going down, bounced around. He's going to fall, but I just don't know whether it's going to not be enough to save BNK Fearex here, as Daystar looking for the charm. Another flash Winter's Bite goes wide there. Delight is at least consistent in this game. And HLE still very happy with the outcome, as, oh dear, that charm is going to connect as Delight gets in there with the door to stop Zeka from taking that damage.
Without Peanut, they can't go directly into this Herald easily. Raptor is also down, but low health bars here in here at this point for BNK. Daystar narrowly avoids that Winter's Bite, but like Delight got the locket, they were set up, they were like, all right, we're going to force this fight. I know they're likely in this bush, and we're ready to just pounce on them because Braum contained.
I think I oversold it as far as a win for HLE just because of the shenanigans that happened immediately afterwards. Rift Herald does come on through though. That is going to spell the end of this outer turret as Diablo takes a full culling to the head. And now Zeka is going for a bit of a drive. Peanut turns up, finds Daystar yet again. Remember, doesn't have the ulti, and the Azir is coming in. My God, the drifting on this man. Just swoops onto the turret, takes it down, and now it is Zeus' turn. All right, checking the brush there as well. Man, HLE is showing off. Have they been taking driving lessons from Peanut? Because of his cool motorcycle driving that he had that season, that one time as Raptor's dead. Crescent Guard does do a fair bit of work there in that moment. Public execution into the backline for Sobro, but the Emperor's Divide says, no, you are not dashing out of that one, and it's Delight that gets the kill. Zeka gonna flash immediately, as he was extraordinarily low, and Zeus feels immortal. I don't know whether he necessarily is, especially not against this on-hit Varus, but that...
but when it's broken up like this, I mean, BNK do fall like dominoes.
Well, nice handshake there from Kellen onto Viper, but he takes a Winter's Bite. That one's going to land. Viper does have to get himself out of the way, but just has to use a dash for it. Daystar will find the angle on this bottom lane, though, and there are some resets to come in. A double kill for Diablo at the same time. BNK Fearex going to be very happy about that, even if they aren't necessarily out of the woods.
Say a lot of things about how Viper is playing this first game, but respectful, I would think, would not be one to describe it as...
No, well, this is not respectful, but like, does Zeus need to? It's a bailout. Let's see whether that is going to work out. They almost take down Peanut, the Subjugate. Almost working there. Sobro going to come in. Is 3 people enough to kill Zeus? No. The answer is no, ladies and gentlemen, as in comes Zeka, finds an Emperor's Divide. The handshake's decent, but not decent enough. And yeah, Zeus is a problem, and I do not have the solution.
Q onto Diablo. Kellen does his best to help him out, but the bailout is actually super close here. He even flashes to try to guarantee it, but is unsuccessful.
Oh, Delight, that was sexy. I think he got the steal, right? I did see money come up over his head. All right, Raptor going to split the fight here, but the door is doing so much. Public execution into the backline as Sobro finds Viper. They execute him, they take him down. Remember, the Scion still exists. Zeka trying to get the DPS down, but he will fall. And Peanut, the next one, just throwing this club into the opposition. Diablo doesn't get bailed out. And it's so far a 2 for 2. The disengaged cone going to come on through there as Zeus... He doesn't quite have the keys to the train right now, and he only has like 700 health. Let's see whether that's going to be enough. Soul Furnace comes up, and he will explode, but there's 1,090 gold for Soboro.
That's a lot of money. And that is a trade-up fight. And then, like, Daystar is just constantly applying damage here, and Zeus ends up getting the kill on the other side. Is the dragon... Okay, we're just fighting for a dead dragon. Yep,
we're going for it again, as the culling is just going to be eaten by the entire team. Zekra on a great flank angle as the handshake onto Delight is not fantastic, and Raptor doesn't have that Crescent Guard anymore. Still, they take down Delight, but look at this AoE. It's kind of repulsive. Raptor knows that he's going to go down, and now, oh god, that is not the ticket that they wanted to pick up. As Zeus will find the angle, the flash forward from Kellen. He will be able to take down Viper here, who's just really not having his most fun day today. The revenge is going to be instant, but HLE, they'll find everyone except...
getting the group up there, so I don't think there was any world where they could have done a 25-minute Baron, but
all right, it's time to engage onto the Scion, and maybe it's going to work because Diablo is able to just get all of these Blight stacks on top of him. Hostile Takeover doesn't do too much, but it does enough. So Zeus going to start this fight off dead, and HLE in this 4v5 not going to be feeling too good about it. It could be a Baron angle here for BNK FearX.
He used so much though, and they still have to stick to the Baron, and Daystar's cut off. I don't know about this. Soboro's got a nice angle.
Oh god, this is that minute later that we were talking about before. He does actually have enough CDR to get that ulti back again as Public Execution. Once again, it is magnetized to Viper. Unfortunately this time, they were not distracted. They just turn and they burn him down. Raptor now in trouble as Zeka will find the combo this time. It's a double kill as Viper's going to take the next one. That is 2 pair for now. Will they be able to find the full house with Daystar turning up as the door is going to block? The Ardent Blaze comes in. We just need a cute little dash, and that was a gorgeous pillar of filth there, Peanut. Beautifully done, and there it is. That's the full house, even if it isn't necessarily official.
Remember that story I told about Ambessa ulting onto the Lucian and then getting ulted by Peanut and then disappearing?
Yeah.
That was a theoretical world where that could have happened, and then it happened in reality there for Soboro in that last fight.
And it happened as you predicted. You know, sometimes the lab experiments in real life are kind of similar. As Nexus Turret number 2 going to be going down here as BNK FearX desperately trying to defend, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Viper is just dashing around, trying to get a couple of extra kills, but the Nexus will explode, and HLE will take the win. It was not
Still
clean.
Close this one out, but I feel like Galio was one of the only picks you could have salvaged this draft with, because now you can somewhat match the globals. You have this Kaisa that
could sense that there was a bit of a dive of Bruin. As all right, Raptor is just going to push him away from this.
Yeah, he gets away his stacks as well. Now they can look for the turn.
Yep, there is the exhaust onto Soboro. He's taking a lot of damage, and there's the stun onto Raptor. He is going to be able to get first blood, but it's traded immediately. And still actually works out right.
Yeah, he's not global very well here. Now he's just going to get chased down.
Yeah, you've got now Viper moving up, doesn't have his Featherstorm available, so I don't know whether they want to fight this. And exactly right, that is indeed. Thanks for the leash.
Delight had 6 prior to this, and they were able to make a play faster on the top side. Then he could have ulted Peanut and maybe made a play there with Zeka rotating over, but instead they kind of put their global on where BNK were going to come and suss that out. So Peanut's global means nothing because he's the one.
Oh dear. Equalizer is going to go down. Let's see whether Soboro can stay alive in this. Is the Stand United, the flash forward, and that is another kill onto Soboro here. Delight helping out his top laner. Gwen Shen is, you know, it kind of rhymes, and also it's kind of deadly.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about in the draft. It gives me the feeling that Hanwha Life have such an edge here, but now BNK rotating over, Diablo also coming up right now through the mid lane, and these grubs are what they're looking to take here. Delight, now ultless, has backed. Peanut's the target.
Yeah, Raptor comes on over. There is the heroic entrance there as well. The knockups, he was just unable to do anything forever.
Yeah, I feel like Hanwha Life kind of messed up this early game to protect. So Zeus already has that initial kill, and he's going to become a bigger and bigger problem as the game goes on.
Yep. Speaking of, okay, he is going to just exhaust Soboro once again, and Peanut comes on over. If the other global isn't on cooldown, you just get the other one, and then you kill him again.
It might be able to do it in a few moments here when Delight gets his ult back up.
And then Soboro may leave the game, and I wouldn't blame him.
This is the kind of stuff with Gwen bomb side of the map. Soboro knows this. Is going to try to push the advantage here. Raptor coming up. They're going to repeat the play from earlier.
All right, 3 might be enough here. Snip on cooldown does put up the circle, does have the needlework, so might be able to survive for quite some time. Stand United does come in. There's a taunt under the turret as well. Zeus takes so long to die, and Kellen, he's got an unbreakable will that will allow him to live.
There's nothing cross map here to be taken in return. So Delight opts to ult in here. Kellen's ultimate, while he tanks this turret, just buys so much space.
Oh, Cerberus, I think might be dead again as the Featherstorm is going to clear that one out, but it's a great pulverize from Kellen. Blade Caller comes through though, and unfortunately it's not quite enough. Diablo gets in on top, looks for Viper, who's still at 200 health, still moving forward, knows that they don't have much.
Peanut rotating over. Peanut had his ultimate available as well, and that's going to be a turret in exchange here on the play. So an attempted aggressive play from BNK backfires, leads to a turret plus Dragon here for Hanwha Life.
That is like catastrophic as far as what they lose off the back of that.
This is a risky call here, but they do have the faster group up. This may force said global ultimates.
Yeah, Teleport going to come in here as BNK, looking to try and take this one down. Grand Starfall does get Peanut in, but it's a great equalizer placement. Still Peanut gets the smite, Raptor goes in, and he's out again immediately, and so's Peanut. He's going to survive. The Featherstorm avoids the heroic entrance, and Daystar is stunned up as soon as he lands. No one dies, but HLE just steal BNK's lunch money.
Yeah, that was a really clean fight on both sides, but ultimately LA Champion trying to come into the fight and clean up late is never going to happen into the Xayah. Ultimate fantastic there from Viper, and Peanut for more.
Yeah, Kellen doesn't have his ultimate, so he is a little bit more killable than he'd otherwise be. Checking in on the bottom side here as there's a headbutt back onto Peanut. Can he survive though? Does get a big old shield, and the answer's no. That is a lot of Cathian stuff thrown at him there. And so Diablo is able to...
Overzealous, to say the least there. Peanut was like, see champion, kill champion, question mark?
Ooh, Delight might be his turn to be in a little bit of trouble here as the woes of HLE continue. He gets a bit of a shield as the equalizer is going to help finish him off, and now Viper in an awkward spot. The Featherstorm is now on the ground, but he doesn't get a lot of value from the pullback as Raptor comes in, gets the double Cyclone and takes down the Xayah. Zeka is now a big problem, and so is Zeus. So the work isn't over yet. As 3 versus 3 here, Zeus just hunting them down. Possibly looking for stake first as he jumps out of the way of the monkey. There's the Justice Punch though as a heroic entrance does come down, and Zeka will finally join the fight and look to take them down. But it's Kellen with the Ignite actually that helps lock down that kill. And the block of the Justice Punch, oh no! Valdez's boy Daystar, that is not the time to mess it up, my friend. It was a good play.
It wasn't an amazing play for the rest. I mean, Kellen played that so well with Raptor too. Like, that was an almost unwinnable
this comp
fight.
is really good too. So BNK, see whether they can make it work, as they are all grouped up. Oh no, the Engage Herald. Grand Starfall to come down as well. Diablo is going to be the target here. How does he play Scion twice? It's fearless. This is not fair. And Zeus is not even the one that's helping lock down these kills. Daystar is already dead. Raptor goes down as well. And BNK Fearx, I guess they had one good fight in him. And now it is all kind of done and dusted, as that one looked like they had run out of that said fight completely.
Well, that's a creative way to flank with Gwen. We've seen a new tech.
Oh, he wasn't playing Scion again. Oh, okay. All right, good. Well, at least he's not doing something illegal.
One of the trickiest things about playing Gwen oftentimes is because you're melee, you're trying to get on top of those targets, but you kind of have to run at them. Has a little bit more agency. Even this far down on gold, it feels kind of playable. As Sobro is, he's in the side lane, it's illegal.
Yes, he's not allowed to be there. Viper is going to walk down the red carpet, but that's only because he's a famous guy. Never mind, he's actually a dead guy. As he does pull back some feathers, does manage to do a fair bit of damage there to Diablo, as now Peanut is in a lot of trouble. In goes Delight with the Stance United, but the heroic entrance is there to answer, and Zeus has found Diablo in the backline. Snip, snip goes the Gwen, and he's looking to take him down. The needlework is beautiful. He's crocheting them in the backline, as Kellen also going to be falling down. There's the Shadow Dash from Delight. And it's once again one of these fights where BNK, they find that angle, they take down their target that they're looking for, and then it goes catastrophically wrong.
Yeah, then the really pet Gwen shows up and you're like, oh.
Yes.
And the target selection, you know, a little bit...
Yeah, and out of like that's probably what did it. The level advantages are kind of absurd. Delight now level 11. As Kellen's moving over, he is going to get taunted up as he finds the ultimate button. Viper from over the wall. There's the equalizer that goes down, but it's not doing a whole lot of anything at all. Zeus goes golden. They might be able to take him down here, but instead he's just going to kill his fellow top laner. The Featherstorm comes down, and it's used offensively here by Viper as Peanut says, top of the morning to you, Mr. Cowman, and takes down Kellen once again. That's going to be the ace, and HLE, yeah, this is an impossible...
Everybody, while you have the lineups and you have these CCs, then maybe this is winnable. Maybe Diablo gets that first kill. Maybe Viper has to ult a little bit faster, but with a big whiff of the ult like that, it's just simple.
HLE look to defend this Baron.
And they had so many ults on cooldown, but now they're coming back. Viper's ult's almost back up. And that's the big one here.
Oh, Zeus is just going to face check this brush. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. As in he goes, they look for the angle onto Raptor, who is just going to get over the wall, but does die. That is going to be Peanut sniping him with a spear. Over the wall goes Zeus. This needlework is doing too much. Absolutely too much damage onto Diablo here. As Zeka, he's going to follow up and look for another Q. That should be there. There it is. And it's another ace. Out of nowhere for HLE. No Baron required, I think, as they look to break the base.
They're just going to walk down and end this time around. The last time weren't quite able to finish off of, but this time they're right here with a wave of minions. Zeka with the question mark here, and BNK just getting obliterated by Hanwha Life Esports. In the one-sided series we expected, but I at least want to give BNK credit for making it a good old try, especially in the second game. It was better than I expected.
How easy is the Zeus POM though? Like, am I right? 7,000 gold ahead as they look to brawl a little bit more. That Featherstorm did a whole lot of work there for Viper as he grabs another 2.
The mid game, we have a lot of mid game power here, and our late game is going to be very strong. We'll just completely outrange the Kalista later on. Forget about early. We're going to make it through. To be honest, in terms of like what outcome I would pick would be to have the tiebreaker. So then they have the direct match off.
Give some agency over to KT.
We are going to see a big dive here, it looks like.
Yeah. Aiming, just trying to dance around. Lucid just walks in. They want to kill the hens, and they will be able to do so. Beryl looking for a bailout here. Not able to get it, but it's a double kill as DK just lock down this bottom lane and destroy it.
Yeah, Showmaker does have the flash there. That's going to be the first Mountain Dragon here, going over to Dplus.
Yeah, they are really coming out of the gate swinging, understanding that it is like 2-0 or bust, to be perfectly honest. A series against KT, at this point in time, I would not want to opt into that. He puts the red carpet down in the right spots. He wins lanes on this Rumble very effectively, and in fact, he wins games on this champion for Nongshim. And he's right now making Shiu's life really hard. I really like this from Gideon as the Ornhorn is going to sound. It does get the double knock-up though, and the outplay is gorgeous! Bellow's breath comes on through, but he's on the equalizer. And so he goes down, a little bit unfortunate, tried his very best, as now Lahen's kind of getting ignored here as he is left underneath his turret. Calyx is fighting against Showmaker, but Showmaker getting the better end of it, throwing out the volley. Flash does have to come through, and Calyx
the wave is crashing. Shiu instantly has to ult, but now he's trapped in this position where in order to reactivate his ultimate, he has to stand on equalizer. The placement is perfect as Gideon is in trouble.
Oh dear. He's going to flash. Blast Cone is going to be there, but Showmaker is looking to pick him up. Is the seismic shove available? Yes, it is, but now he has to walk into the other rocks, and that is going to be the kill going over to Showmaker. And he gets the feats of warfare at the same.
Showmaker doesn't have his ult, but he doesn't necessarily need it here. Nongshim are just not able to get over here and contest, and that's going to be a 2 Drake lead here for Dplus. That Soul, we'll see what it's going to be.
It's
Cloud again.
Oh my goodness. It's not my birthday anymore. That was lost. Beryl doesn't find the handshake. You can see another dive is being set up.
Lucid is here. Showmaker's here. His ult's not ready, but I don't know if he needs it, honestly.
Oh, wind becomes lightning. Jiu going to try and get himself out of there. Showmaker comes on over, and he might take a consolation Lahen's, and that is absolutely going to be theirs. Fate's Call invested. They still do have, like, the Weaver's Wall wasn't even available. Yeah, no, they've got Hostile Takeover. It was only Fate's Call.
And Calyx gets control of this mid wave, but what does it mean? You know, there's no plates to get here. There's no value in this mid lane. Can deny some farm from Showmaker, but I think he likes the denial of the Senna more. Gideon will, as a jungler, win this one.
Yeah, Shiu is going to look to try and get this Ornhorn over the top, and it's not going to work out. Now Showmaker turns up. Lucid going to be there as well, but Gideon, he's just going to be able to create the decoy, get himself out of there. Oh, nice seismic shove there onto Calyx, who does steal a call of the Forge Guard.
I think that was a bit of an unforced error there from Shiu to try to go over and...
I think Shiu is just having a horrible time.
He's like, I want money, so maybe I'll go in the jungle, and yeah, no. When you dive like that, that's where the enemy jungler is going to appear and try to make a cross map, and he just gave it over basically on a silver platter. And now we're looking for a hook.
Yeah, Lahen's finds the max range onto Beryl. He's going to flash. Throws down the hostile takeover here as Lahen's looking to try and stun off his teammates, but does not manage to do so. Teleport in from Calyx.
He has the Ornhorn, and there's no Renata ultimate anymore. This is a really nice setup here for the side of Nongshim for this Herald fight.
Yeah, Call the Forge got advantage over to Nongshim. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, in goes Lucid, looks for a little bit of an angle as Gideon Warrior Trickster will be able to avoid any sort of engage. Another hook does come on through there as he equalizes a beautiful position. The Ram comes down as well, and my God, Lucid almost just dead. He gets bailed out, but I don't think they're getting a kill as Xiu just trying to be a nuisance, and it does not work. Another one connects max range. He flashes away, and Lehen stays alive, but they don't quite have enough of the damage, and Xiu now just trying to run away aiming. Oh dear, just needs a pierce to get himself in range, and that is a dead center. DK picking up the fact that Nongshim, without equalizer, don't necessarily have the deeps to get through them at this stage.
Yeah, no, down but not out in that fight for sure. So much used to kill Lucid. His Crescent Guard got insane value as Xiu has to put himself in harm's way to try to secure that kill, and in fact, why he went down. Okay, Xiu just wants to farm.
Yeah, please, let Xiu at least get the experience for the cannon. And he does. He'll get a double knock up here as well, but that turret is really dead. Showmaker is going to try and bail out his top laner, though. Seismic Shove goes wide, and Xiu is still going to go down. Showmaker, can you do it? You're in melee range against a Silas and a Rumble. The bailout's immediate, but it does not matter. He's still going to get put down, and Calix will be able to get that kill. A 2-for-1 is going to be the ensuing trade.
Looks kind of story, but he did not.
And DK was able to also get the Rift Herald, so that's also a big deal. Nongshim, they're going to collect themselves this outer turret on the bottom side, but Rift Herald might be able to get 2 turrets, which is, I think, a bit of a bigger deal. As alright, equalize it just to clear out the wave, but it doesn't clear the Rift Herald. Now Kingan's going to get knocked up. Fate's Call for another knock-up as he gets handshook and destroyed. Xiu gets his revenge as he's now level 11 on this on, feeling a lot better.
Hang out in the area, maybe look for a steal here. Gideon does have flash, but
I don't think so, man. Have any right to go for it exactly.
I mean, maybe if somebody bathed weird here, is down now, so that's a big zoning tool. And Gideon is ready to look for a potential steal here. This is not a secure by any means for Dplus. They're going to have to look for a fight or a turn.
Yep, Xiu's now back with the rest of the team as Calix on a bit of a flank angle. This is going to be a 50-50. The equalizer goes down. There are Rams everywhere. My goodness, what happened at the farm as the Fate's Call is going to come through to get Beryl out of dodge. Xiu's in trouble, but he flashes to get out of the way. Beryl is in a really rough spot. But Lens is also, as he's taken down exceptionally low. Oh God, the 5 versus 5 Alcove gaming is going to ensue. The health bars on DK are so low, but they're still just going to try and walk it off. Xiu's health bar is decent as Xiu gets the knock up. Calix is going to get closed in on by Lucid, who's just looking for the 1v1 into the Silas, and maybe he's going to be able to do it. He finds the win, becomes lightning, and how are DK still alive?
Oh, Lucid might just get out too. King,
oh, the flash forward from King, and BS knocked up. Lucid is a god. This guy doesn't make sense. He will die in the end, but he saved that whole fight for DK.
Yeah, let's see if anyone else can get out here. I mean, they're chasing deep. I don't know if Nongshim should be actually going this far into this situation. I
don't think DK should be walking back.
Yeah, no, you got out. You got out. Showmaker does show up here, TP'd in.
Yeah, Seismic Shove does nothing at all, but Lance is still going to be dead. They do get Beryl, so it's a 1-for-1, but now in this 2v2, I'm feeling like DK are feeling happy about it. There it is, the double for aiming, and the surprise Teemo face for DK, as that was an ace for a couple of seconds.
And he gets another knock up here when Kingan goes in. This audaciously charges him and knocks him up. He still dies, but he takes the Rumble out, which really shapes how the rest of this fight look.
Is this free soul? Yeah, I guess it's free soul. Build a wall, take a dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, easiest Cloud Soul of their lives. Snare going to connect. As alright, the Ram is going to get called. We'll see what Xiu can make of it as Lens goes in. The follow-up is a little bit late, but the equalizer is still fantastic. The hostile takeover is even better. 3-man knock-up from Xiu, but still they are cooking. They are getting murdered as Gideon gets into that backline. Lucid and Xiu are still up, but they've lost everyone else. Nongshim still managed to make it an even trade after losing the Drake, and I say even, Gideon's still dead.
I mean, it's still, ends up being a fairly close game here in terms of gold, but the Cloud Soul value is going to be here.
Against the Noodles.
All right, Calix left alone here. We'll try to clear this wave.
Sorry about the cast curse. Seismic Shove is going to come through. Never mind, it's a Calix by himself. The flash forward from Beryl to find the handshake and get the kill. My goat right there is now Xiu could be in a bunch of trouble. The Ram is going to come through though, and he doesn't get the knock-up. So still will be going down. That could have been really cute, but it's a great interruption.
And with the kill on the Ornn there, it's not like Dplus can take this Baron for free. It's going to have to be a fight, but they have Weaver's Wall. And it's been every single objective Nongshim has been second to. Like every single one, and they don't get to dictate the pace. And so Dplus have all the options here. Showmaker's wall is the first.
Yeah, he's going to build that wall. The equalizer is helping DK take this Baron right now, as the wall will come down. Gideon's going to make it a 50-50, but it's the Rend that locks it down. And then the Monkey dies. Lucid gets into that backline, and Beryl is going to join in with the Fate's Goal. Lands in so much trouble, and Aiming is throwing sticks all over the place. Jiu, the last man standing once again, and he'll get shoved seismically into the death chamber.
Dplus,
DK, I think this might be the end of the game.
I think so. Their objective control with this early game comp, the bottom side control they played through was brilliant. All 4 dragons to them and a Baron to boot. It's never a 50-50 when you've got a Kalista with those sticks in the Baron. Gideon tried his best there, but he won't win it in the end. And Dplus off to a confident start here.
Yep. There is another wall. You can build that, but DK, they have the ability to knock it down as they have this on. First Nexus turret going to go down. Still waiting on King and Jiu to respawn, and I think the Nexus is not long for the world. However, DK do need to win another fight, and in fact, they just will. That's a decent way to do it. Nexus next going to go down, and Kingen not even allowed to try and fight back.
I would have recommended. I thought we were going to see that Ezreal Leona set up here for Nongshim, but it also is great with Ahri. Great with Rakan. You know, he's not going to be pushing side lanes in right now. That's going to be what happens later on, and he'll still be able to do that pretty relevantly as long as he doesn't fall too far behind, and he's staying even in the exchange. That experience still has his flash. He needs to thin this wave out. A lot of it's super low.
Well, let's see what King can get done here as the knockup does come on through, and that should spell the end. That is first blood going over to the Gold King himself.
And, I mean, Dplus here, you know that this Jace is vulnerable. This Jace is
going to be helping out Beryl.
It's a lot of power from this little play here from Nongshim because they force Xiu to back, but they delay it a few times. He TP's top to catch the wave, but this also means Aiming has to come over and catch this wave a little bit late.
Save you, Maiden!
Oh, no.
Oh,
mistake here.
It's too late. Oh, Lucid! That was almost so incredibly heroic. Oh, wow.
But it was the right choice to let it die.
Yeah, it was the right choice. However, still just really, really nice.
Shirelli is
try and save her is okay. Lahens is flashing for this one as the Soul Shackles do go down. Teleport to come forward as DK just looking to stand their ground. Jiu in so much trouble, and this is Showmaker's domain. He's able to dash wherever he'd like, finds the charm, and everyone on Nongshim instantly on the floor. They'll augment that with Shelly.
Well, this game was looking incredibly close, but Dplus are going to pull massively ahead after this one. Kingen does pick up first turret, so that's a huge win for Nongshim here. So all they need is one more objective to get feats of strength, but...
I want to see what happened there.
I mean, Lahens used his whole kit, and then he remembered why Morgana isn't better.
I was actually thinking exactly that during the play-by-play, and it kind of put me off my own job.
Yeah.
So I'm glad someone said it.
Because, like, okay, King gets another turret. This feels way less bad now. Actually feels kind of okay for Nongshim, but I don't know if we're going to get a replay of this or not, but, like, Lahens Shirelia's, then decides instead of trying to run away with it, he wants to make a play with it. Flashes in, drops heal, ults, and hits the binding and drops his pool, and then Dplus are like, yeah, okay.
And what?
Nice try. Another turret goes down as Dplus...
And Lucid's going to be immortal. So, I don't know. And she is also not going to be there. The good news doesn't really happen as Beryl, quickness comes down, and Jiu, yeah, the shield was there, but his life is now gone. Gideon is also just dead, and Lucid gets distracted by Calyx, dodges 2 ultimates, and eats the piggy. She are now looking to take down the pigeon here on the bottom side of the map, but there is a turret available. And DK are just winning everywhere now.
Yeah, Nongshim are doing the classic.
No, everything's missing!
Oh, God.
The flash charm is so beautiful. The shovel from Xiu finds the pigeon.
I mean, this is a classic lose the team fight and try to get a turret angle here for Nongshim. They are not able to get that mid turret as King is still working towards that goal, but now Dplus pick up this very important, very relevant dragon and a 2,000 gold lead off of the kills as... You know, we often have the debate of dodge or miss.
Yeah.
I think we might have had one of each in that last play that was on Dragons. Kingen will trade his life and maybe a kill?
Well, no. I'm not sure whether Lucid's going to be going down here. Gideon going to show up. There's no subjugate this time around as Aiming is fighting Lucid. Knockup is good. Charm is even better as Gideon turns it on to Beryl. Doesn't have Battle Dance. He's just dead. Sometimes Beryl just wants to die. And we don't necessarily know why. Rhyme unintentional.
Yeah, I mean, it's Beryl versus Lehens here, so...
yeah, it's about who can outdo the other one. It's Brush, and there's perhaps none of the jungles will get caught out.
So, okay.
All right, there is the kitchen sink thrown at the Yorick, and he will get taken down. Takes them a little while to get him as Showmaker comes over, offers a bit of poke damage as well. They realize that they are in their jungle, but that means that Aiming heads towards the top side, pushes out the wave, gets the turret. This inner is going to be in trouble, but the Otacon is going down.
I think they need to get more than this inner if they're going to make this trade work. Lehens just hanging out, being annoying.
I mean,
buying time for Gideon to come over, I guess?
Yeah, Voidseeker is going to connect onto Gideon, gives them the information that he is in the area. Showmaker turns up as well. It's going to be a 50-50 on this smite. Great news for Nongshim, because remember, they've already got that turret Dark Binding collected here by Showmaker. He also gets tagged by the Shock Blast.
I mean, Nongshim have control over this Otacon now. I don't know if they should hold it. I think they should just leave. Look for King to go over here and get some more Shock Blast damage.
The information is still there. The ward was already set up. Beryl still gets hit. Because of course he does. And now we're just going to be backing away.
Nongshim deny the Otacon. They get that inner turret and damage significantly.
Here that hasn't been swept out.
Lehens can kind of block the entry here of Lucid.
Yeah, not if he misses. Oh, it tags Lehens as well. There could be a delivery as there's a subjugation. The prison goes down, and that is the secure of the Otacon, but immediately the jungler does go down. Showmaker goes in, but the Dark Binding was so good! Into the backline goes Beryl, though the quickness charms up 3. The Empress Divide does absolutely nothing, but Kingin does everything! And almost survives for so incredibly long. Nongshim going to win the fight and get the Otacon.
The first miss. Ulted, so that was what happened there. Yeah, that's the
right.
So anyway, Aiming ults and dies, and they win the fight, and now they're in control.
Yeah, and Lucid is not. He is relatively tanky, but doesn't have Subjugate, and as soon as he doesn't have Subjugate, things are problematic.
There's no jungler, and Dplus have to go through all this vision. They have no vision of the Baron, so this ends up being the correct call.
Yeah, this Baron is basically just gone. They get the information, but Beryl, nothing he can do about it as Showmaker. He's going to dash in. It's not going to happen as Beryl almost gets that smite off in time.
That was so scary.
Was that just a double up? I think it was. Okay, yeah, Gio's doing a bit of damage.
He is big at this point.
Yeah. Trying to get some damage on this turret. Going to be successfully able to do so as well. As, all right, Showmaker finds the charm! He dashes in, Kingin's able to get himself out though, and Beryl just explodes! He disappears in the blink of an eye. Now Calyx is rotating over. They've got another Dark Binding. That's going to connect onto Lucid. He goes down, and Nongshim, they're going to make DK work for it. They're looking to take this game right here, right now!
Oh man, Beryl feeling the pressure here. No longer able to just go straight to Legend. They're going to have to win the next game and beat KT in a potential tiebreaker.
And there he is. That's what he was looking for on the top side of the map, Wolf. Calyx finds the sweep, and the Nexus go. Neela insta-lock. Okay, Gio. Okay, mate. His signature pick. He's waited until the very last game. And that's an angry Tibbers who does, move out of the way. The turret is a little bit too aggressive. Pulverize is going to connect once again onto Beryl. He stands beside Aiming though. And there's the solo kill for Showmaker!
Oh, that's big.
We need to go back to that. It's just a random pirate. Bound to mess up. As all right, we are setting up a trap. Gio comes in. He's got that Apotheosis at the ready. He is going to use it. Finds the pullback onto Aiming. And he's just throwing that whip around. He'll take down the Lucian. And look to Lucid. Man, a spear kind of hurts. Calyx is going to have to go back once again. Does get a Primal Surge. It's going to keep that health bar a little bit further up as Lucid thankfully doesn't walk in to Lehens and Gio. Holding on to the headbutt for now is Lehens, and now they dive onto Gio here. The instant exhaust comes through. Two-man Pulverize from Lehens as Beryl puts up the door. Lucid's still going to die though, as once again Calyx solo, but this time Showmaker can't finish him off. Clouded Chemtech means that we're going to get another interesting soul. We'll see whether it is going to be something like an Ocean that we have already had today. As okay, Lehens going to be charging up the flash, but the concussive blows are going to come through. Stand beside Braum as there's the Apotheosis gets flashed this time around, and the Winter's Bite. They really wanted to land that one. Stun goes down onto Lehens. The exhaust onto Lucid. He's going to buy some space, and the spear picks the gap and takes down the cow. DK back on the board.
For Prio.
Showmaker was thinking about trying to kill Calyx again, but doesn't actually commit to it.
Okay, if they get aiming with an Apotheosis, there's an
Oh
angle.
no, there's a concussive blows, but he's able to press that W in time still. It's not quite enough as the cleanse comes out. It's not enough. And the Lucian able to take him down. Gideon gets over the wall, but the exhaust is still there, and Xiu has teleported in. Great headbutt from Lehens to try and save Calix, but it's not going to save them from losing so many of these objectives, and the wallet is still going to connect. I said wallet, and it's kind of working here because he had a lot more money than Lehens. That was a really good angle on the Gna there as well from Xiu. This guy from the brush, like Lehens didn't even really see it. It was actually very, very cute. As him and Xiu are now slightly out of position, as we can see here, as the concussive blows comes down. No unbreakable will, and they're going to break that will, as you can see there. And DK, they did pick up the Rift Herald. That's going to be slammed into the mid lane here. Let's see whether Xiu can escape from this one. Gideon hopping forward. Speaking of hops, Xiu wants a target to hop onto, and he's not quite going to be... Oh, never mind! Never mind. Okay, never minding.
Never mind.
As I didn't quite see the fact that the Andrews was completed, so the burn is going to be enough. Bye-bye, Xiu. And
Lucid
he is
lives?
in between some turrets. He's not allowed to be near.
No. So it's a trade, but I think it's a big trade up for Dplus. They're able to get that mid-inner in exchange for the outer. Or sorry, the mid-outer in exchange for the top outer. But still, big money. That's a more relevant turret.
And this is going to be feats of strength brought down for DK as they do take this dragon, but they might trade it for an inner turret. This is something that between games 1 and 2, Nongshim really did fix though, and that was cross-mapping when they miss out on things, right?
Yeah,
and so this inner turret going down will give them a lot of money.
It's just like game 2 where, you know, you can at least keep things a little bit relevant because he burns anyways.
If he had if the minion wave was a little bit closer and he was able to avoid pounce damage, maybe it's going to be okay. It's never mind. It's another inner turret that's just going to be taken.
But
there's a huge stack of people here towards the bottom lane.
I mean, if they can get this inhibitor early, I don't know if that's even necessarily good, but they are looking to lose 2 inners for this, and I think Nongshim are kind of priced into it now.
Well, Beryl and Showmaker are here as well, and with 5 people in the bottom lane, I don't think the Annie and Braum are going to be enough to defend this. So inhibitor does go down.
Nongshim are changing the meta, man. They're like, let's just kill the Nexus.
All right, well, that might actually work. There's no wave clear. So there's the ulti out of Beryl, as now the Grand Starfall comes in, and maybe they've overextended. Never mind, the Tibbers not going to find the stuns that they're looking for. Tibbers does come back. Beryl gives them the door, stands beside his teammates, and now the culling. Gonna get tanked by one animal after another, and the stun up onto Kingin. No Dominus for you, and now they're hunting down Lehens at the same time. A huge teleport for a Showmaker is coming in at the same time. He's looking to block them off. As Calix, they are just looking for this Hex Tech. Oh no. Xiu, he's going to die because of this one as he finds the Pyroblast, and now Showmaker wanting to find even more. We can see Gideon and Calix are out of there. But DK...
It's not necessarily that relevant right now.
Why, Beryl? Okay, he's over.
If there was a strong side lane champion like a Jax, you know, if you're a Camille, maybe you could say this is worth.
Well, maybe this is worth as well. So, okay, Lucid is taking so much damage. Great knockup, though, from Beryl as Lehens is going to get taken down, and Kingin is going to get cold. It's a double kill for Aiming, who's now looking for even more. Xiu going to have to flash to get away, and Showmaker, he is looming. He doesn't have flash, as the house is going to miss. And so is everything else. Oh, that house does actually connect, but Xiu able to walk it off as Tibbers just scouting the area.
All right, that's going to be the Otacon in a bit of a roundabout, scary way.
Well, he's there now. Okay?
He's like, okay, exit kills.
If he had package.
Exit kills.
Oh, I believe he was just spotted. Okay, well, Phosphorus Bomb going to give away his position. Xiu and Gideon moving in. We've got Bax coming on through. And Beryl going to get engaged on and should be going down. There's the kill going over to Gideon. And the rest of DK trying to fight this one out. Gideon goes golden in the nick of time, but then Mega Gna is going to be there as well. The trade comes through, the Pulverize. And I don't think DK needed to all stick around, but they did. They did get a kill onto Gideon, but they lose 3.
It was a tough decision. Do you just let the split back happen? Try to force your way into this one. They end up losing these members. It takes a long time. We got to go to live because there's a big fight on this dragon.
Yeah, down to 3,000 health. Lucid in the area. Headbutt Pulv. They're going to try and take him down. Beryl puts up the door, though. That's going to deny a lot. As Showmaker gets the bear over the wall. Kingin now Dominus into the backline. Gets a huge shield from the Sterix. And the Apotheosis connects as well. Xiu will eventually go down as Kingin. His job is now over as he has no health left, and they didn't have enough damage to take them down. Xiu gonna look for another house. Houses are really big. How do all of these miss? But still, he's gonna be able to lock down the kill. And Calyx is just vacated.
Yeah.
He wants to head to this bottom lane where
able
maybe
to hit the backline targets, and then yes, the knockup comes through from Lehens, but the fight is too broken up.
And it's continuing here, Wolf, as well as the flash forward onto Gideon. He goes golden. A see your death moment as Lucid is going to put a spear in him.
Well, that is no
jungler
jungler
dead and a Baron now up. What did Gideon mean by this?
Well, since we came in pretty late, I'm not sure if we're ever going to know.
All right, Beryl looking to try and turn this one as well. He's got a big old door, and he's not afraid to use it. As this Baron is going down slowly.
There's no unsealed spellbook here for Nongshim.
Oh, look at this Nabar as well. Xiu is ready to start this, but he doesn't have a lot of vision here towards this river. He's getting angry. Calyx is getting in trouble. Is Kingen exactly right? Is on that flank angle. As Lehens takes the culling. They need to... Oh, they find it! Xiu dives on top, finds an Nara onto 2. Xiu gonna go down. Lehens gonna follow, and Kingen once again dives in just to go down. And there is the Baron play for DK. This third game should equal a tiebreaker between DK and KT. The most beautiful scripted moment here in the LCK is upon us, Wolf.
It looks like we're going to get it. It looks like them to siege up this base, starting now down with this bottom inner turret. And it's going to take a miracle here. Like the flanking Corki, I don't know if that teleport angle is going to be the one they're looking for. Maybe Kingen could find some sort of angle if he had a ward, but there's nothing.
Yeah, and it's so hard to look at this experience gap, right? Like, Neela has an experience passive and is like 2 levels behind. Lehens also having to pop that ultimate very early as they take this inhibitor turret. Inhibitor soon to follow. Bottom lane as well is fresh for the taking. Calyx finds a bit of damage with that big one as they deliver Kingen towards the backline. That's kind of where Kingen wants to be. Never mind, he doesn't want to be there. It is a lot of damage available here. Another culling tanked fully by Lehens, and he will go down. Aiming, just destroying his former teammate there towards the bottom side as Xiu's going rogue. The rest of the team are looking for an angle, but Xiu's just dead. This Nara is doing so much work. Flashes forward, Gideon again, going golden just to die immediately afterwards. And DK keep their hopes alive here in the LCK. It is tiebreaker time, Wednesday this week. Oh, I can't wait. This is exactly what we needed. I don't know whether we deserved it. I don't know whether it's